G'day Jackednnerdy fans, Jeremy here with a full non-spoiler review of the first season of Amazon's series Lord of the Rings of Power. Now, before I get stuck into that review, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That way you guys never miss out on a video. And if you do enjoy the videos that we are putting out there, please make sure you give them a thumbs up. That lets us know that you guys are enjoying our content and encourages us to keep going. Now, with that out of the way, this is my full non-spoiler review of the entire season of The Rings of Power. If you saw my initial reaction to the first two episodes, you would already know that before this season ever even started, I was 100% on board because I am such a fan of the franchise. I did thoroughly enjoy the first two episodes, albeit that I was, also in a very heightened state of excitement that it had finally come out. Now, this, I'm going to be brutally honest, after episodes 1 and 2, as we progress into episodes 3 and 4, I found my excitement starting to wane a little bit, as a lot of people, I think, found that this series did not have a lot of momentum. It was very, very slow progressing. I understand there's a lot of story involved, a lot of groundwork that you've got to lay with introducing characters and things. However, these were hour-long episodes, so by the time you get to the end of episode 3 or even episode 4, you're already 3 to 4 hours in, or even more, because some of the episodes go for longer than an hour. So, there's a lot of storytelling that you can fit within that time. Just think back to the original Lord of the Rings movies. Each movie was 3 hours, but there was a lot crammed into those 3 hours. Whereas with this series, you get 3, 4, or even 5 hours into it, and you feel like the story has not really progressed that far. So in my opinion, this show was extremely slow moving, so much so that I think a lot of people would have dropped off. I know quite a few people personally who were on the brink of giving up on the show entirely around episodes 3, 4. Episodes 5 and 6 did pick up quite a bit in terms of a lot. There was more action. Things kind of started to move along at a bit of a faster pace. Just shit got done. Rather than sitting around and talking about it, things actually started to happen. So by episodes 5 and 6. 5 and 6, things did pick up quite a bit, and 7 and 8 as well. So, with that being said, overall, like I said, because I'm such a fan of this property, I enjoyed watching this show. For seeing these characters and just seeing these stories come to life on screen in this medium. We've read the books, we've watched the movies, the Peter Jackson movies, we've played the video games. Now it's just nice to see all these different stories all coming together in a series. That being said, like I said, when it first came out, I was at 100%. By episodes 4, I was maybe at about between 60 and 70%. By episodes 6 and 7, I was back up to about 75%. Now, Friday just gone, so about 3 days ago, they aired the final episode of the season. So with the final episode of the season, we kind of found out a lot more about the various characters, who stands on what side of the line, who's good, who's bad, and I mean, not to give anything away, but we take a big step in in the story in terms of the, we're starting to see kind of the forging of the rings and what have you, which it's been building up to ever since the first kind of episode, really. So we knew it was coming, but, in the final episode, we kind of came to that point. So, the final episode of the season, I felt, did answer a lot of questions that we had been asking throughout this season. It left a lot, as always, it leaves questions open for the next season to answer. I think I would have liked a little bit more of a crescendo, so to speak. I would have, they could have even actually drawn this out for maybe another 2 episodes, make it like a 10 episode season, and progress the story just that little bit further beyond this point. I think would have worked quite well. So look, ultimately, I have been a bit let down with this season, with the show. Not to the point where I've completely given up. I haven't given up on the show. I look forward to seeing the next season and where they go with it. I would like to see a lot more, action, so to speak. I'd like to see more, or even not even action. I just want more momentum. I think the biggest issue that this series has had since the beginning is it's struggled to build momentum. And it's just kind of been this long, arduous kind of uphill stumble, so to speak. I'd just like to see them get a bit more momentum, progress the story at a slightly faster pace, get more into each episode. You've got an hour or just over an hour to work with. Let's get a bit more happening in that hour. The other thing, though, the other thing is, I have to say, is I've heard reports that season 2 of this show has not even started filming yet. So they've finished the first season, and they're still several months away from starting to film the second season, which means that we're not actually going to get to see the second season for nearly 2 years. And in my opinion, for a show like this, that's way too long, especially with a show that's struggled with pacing and momentum. So, like, really, I mean, they probably should have filmed the first and second season together. Then that way they could drop the first season, get that out there, and then maybe drop the second season in 6 months' time or 9 months' time, to get that, keep that audience engaged and what have you. But they've really just dropped the ball on this, I'm afraid. And I dare say when they premiere the first episode of season 2, whenever that comes out, I dare say they're going to see a very, very big drop in numbers and in viewers and what have you, which is a shame, because I mean, this is a huge property. A lot of people love it. It's one of the most expensive productions ever made. I mean, they just to get the rights, I think they paid something like over $600 million just in the rights to actually make this show, let alone what they've invested to actually make it. So, in terms of Amazon and this production, they've really kind of dropped the ball in terms of their production and their getting this out there and what have you. So, I mean, look, I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to continue on watching it because I love the property so much. I am interested to see where they go with it. I am deeply invested in some of these characters, like Galadriel, Durin, and his wife. They've done a really, really good job with the character development and creating these characters and getting you to connect to them. So I want to continue this story and see where these characters go and see where the story goes and what have you. It's just going to be a bit of a struggle waiting for that next season to come out. And if they don't pick up the pace and start correcting some of the issues that they've had in terms of the pacing, it's going to be difficult to stay on board. So that is my opinion. Look, I'll still give the show a 7 out of 10. Like I said, the visuals are fantastic. The characters and the character development is fantastic. I'm invested in the story and, with these characters. But they've just got a few issues that they need to work out between now and the next season, and let's hope that they do. So that's my thoughts. Like I said, when I started, I was 100% invested in this story. That has now waned a little bit over the progression of this story just because of some of those issues. But we'll wait and see what happens whenever they do eventually release season 2. God willing, it will be sooner rather than later. They just really need to step on the gas. But what were your thoughts on this season? Did you last? Did you get through the whole season, or did you give up partway through it? What were your thoughts? Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know. I'd be interested to know what everyone else thought of the show. As I said, started really high, ended up a little bit low, but I'm still going to hold out hope for the next season. Make sure you keep an eye out on the channel as well. We got heaps more content coming out over the next week or so. Heaps of movies coming out, heaps of unboxings. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you will not miss out. And until next time, guys, stay jacked and stay nerdy.